Rhythm Thakkar, and we are here today at the ET office joined by Mr. Simarpreet Singh, Executive Director, Hartech Group. Hello, Mr. Singh.
Hi Rhythm, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Thank you so much for taking out your precious time to join us for this interview today.
Always a pleasure coming to ET.
Yes. Let's dive into the questions directly then. Sir, I want to know, can you share some insights into the recent developments or milestones that Hartech has achieved in terms of business growth?
So Hartech, it's a 30-year-old brand. We operate in 3 business units primarily. One is power system business, where we build the substations, the transmission distribution network for various customers. The second is renewables business, and the third is the power distribution products business. A lot of exciting things have happened of recent, some of which I want to share with all of the viewers. One is we've recently bagged a 765 kV project with Power Grid Corporation. This project is so important for us because it sort of reinforces our vision towards building the grid infrastructure, extra high voltage substations for the future, and also very less companies in India who are doing EPC at this voltage level. So there's a recent development that has happened, and we'll continue to sort of invest in building the grid infrastructure. The second is on the renewables story. We've partnered with a very large independent power producer, and we're building the 300 megawatt solar plant in Rajasthan. The order values approximately about close to 500 crores, and that also again our focus on decarbonization, net zero. So this is a recent development on that front, and a very recent development is we've just commenced our project in the state of Jammu Kashmir, and we're building one of the largest rooftop solar projects for one of the largest corporate industries there in Jammu. So yeah, that is the most live update from all the segments that's happening at Hartech.
That's great. Hartech continues to identify and capitalize on key areas of business opportunities. What are some of the strategies that you're implementing to secure the necessary resources and maintain a competitive edge in this evolving market?
Well, that's a fantastic question. So, fundamentally we are a engineering company, engineering infrastructure company. So when you're a services company, the biggest asset, I don't like to use the word asset with people, but the biggest sort of strength is your people when you're running a services company. We are headquartered in Mohali, our global headquarters are there. One of the things that we've continuously, why we are different, why we continue to be among the top 5, top 10 in the country, is that we are investing heavily in our people, right? Getting the right people and also giving them that kind of empowerment. I'll share this amazing news that we've become one of the very few companies in the infrastructure space to be accredited 5-time Great Place to Work. Now, Rhythm, just visualize in an infra company to be accredited 5-time Great Place to Work is a very tough thing, because a lot of their sites are happening, and in general, when we speak infrastructure at site, women are not there in the workforce in the infrastructure, but how we've sort of created that kind of equality and the processes, the policies. And I feel that a lot of people talk about their moat. I feel your culture, your people is your moat, right? That is how it differentiates. So I think one of the things is this, that as a services company we're doing. I think secondly is also really deep diving into cutting edge. I feel that as an engineering infrastructure company, if you're not sort of building or taking risk ahead of time, whether it is, let's say getting into different technologies like battery energy storage system, 765 kV, smart cities, smart meterings, really challenging yourself, I think that is where a lot of companies lose it. And I think at Hartech, our culture is to challenge ourselves, and we often say that every 3 years you have to do something different within the sector. So I think primarily I would want to say these couple of things, that is what we are doing differently. And with the massive growth in this sector, I feel that everybody can take some kind of market share.
In your view, what additional measures or policies are needed to ensure that India not only meet its energy goals but also becomes a global leader in the transition to clean energy?
So that's a very interesting question, and I'll answer it in 2 parts. So if you actually talk about net zero goals, talk about decarbonization, it's a very controversial topic, and I was at the COP recently also. Now, if you see who has kept these net zero goals, right? It is the Europe, it is the United States, right? Now, Rhythm, if you actually see, these are the people that have already become developed. These are the people, because of them, the carbon emissions were there, right? India was not a developed country. And these are the countries now, once they've become developed, now they've met their sort of demands, peak load through coal and things like that. Now they're coming with these kind of things like carbon tax, this tax, vote tax. Now the challenge is, I don't have a problem with that. And India, if you see, India is the lowest solar cost producer in the world. What India has done in the last 10 years in solar and renewable capacity, it is just unreal. From what capacity, from what gigawatt, and to now where we have reached. So I think one part is the emphasis the West is doing on the net zero goals. I feel that they've already become developed, and I think India, if you see at the COP also, the agreement, the Honorable Prime Minister was very clear. They signed the agreement the last day, right? Only because they wanted that we are developing and we need to if we need coal, for our peak load, we will use that, right? So I think that is the stand which India has, and of course it has set targets of 2070, and I think no country, I can say it on record, no country, what India has done in the past 5 years or the last decade in the renewable energy capacity, I think no country is even near to that in terms of their commitment. So that is one part. The second part is also, we talk about net zero, but what is important is to highlight India's energy independence. That is very important point. Rhythm, today India is amongst the lowest per capita electricity consumption in the world, almost lowest. If you see, we are at around 1200 kilowatt hour. The US, Germany, South Korea are about 10,000, 12,000 kilowatt hour. So I think with renewables coming in, with green hydrogen, solar capacity, this transition of becoming from a low energy capita consumption to a high, this will actually transform our country and take out so many millions of people out of poverty, give them electricity. So I think exciting times, and I feel that the next 50 years, people say 100 years, 50 years, I feel the next 50, 100 years it's going to be just phenomenal, and we're going to see, in our lifetime, we're going to see energy transformation in our country.
Hartech as a group is very passionate about people, like you said, and you are investing in building, a workforce, a culture that supports this transformation. So, can you tell me what sort of investment are you putting in the training exercises, or how are you maintaining that the skill force, keeps up with the transition?
So, I'm happy you used the word passionate. I think more than passionate, we are obsessed with excellence. We are obsessed with and I've always said this on record, we don't want to play a 5-year game, get someone, spin it off, get exit. We've been building this company over the last 34 years. And I've said this at all platforms, we want to see Hartech in 2060. We want to see Hartech in 2070. How do you do that? You don't do that with, making money for yourself. You do that with building talent. You do that with, and it's a very difficult task. It requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of hard work. It requires a lot of perseverance. Now, when you want to build, let's say, a company that exists for the next 100 years, your people have to become the bedrock. Right? And we are not a company which knows it all, right? We are also learning as we evolve. So I think one thing, as you rightly said, is again on the front of people empowerment, right? We don't talk about this much. Like in large companies, a lot of people are just told what to do. I think that is what we are challenging, right? A lot of young people are coming in. Our companies, when you come to our headquarters, a lot of young people are coming. We are investing in a lot of young engineers, right? Showing them, selling them the dream of India's energy landscape and things like that. So I think more to do is really with the vision sharing. We are now recently doing a kind of a town hall with all the new people that have come to the organization, sharing our vision. So I think more than the small things that you do, it is really the larger vision and the culture that you set. So I feel it's a long game, but we have patience to play the long game.
So looking forward to this year's Energy Leadership Summit, what are you most excited about, and what do you hope to achieve through your participation?
Everything. I've been, the entire team at ET Leadership has done a fantastic job as always, and I've been our entire team at Hartech, we've all been very passionate participants all these years, and with Sudhir ji and with the entire team. So I think I think this is the 4th edition if I'm correct, right? Yes. So I think every year the platform not only hosts great people, you know, from the sector, but also these are very, you know, conversations that really are impactful conversations, the panel talks and all these kind of things. So I am just very happy there to meet all my fraternity. Hartake has been one of the oldest players in this sector, in the solar, in the power sector. So we have a lot of friends, colleagues from this, from it, and it's really a pleasure to participate and to contribute and become a partner on this year's ET. We look forward to meet a lot of people and hopefully gain and add value in the entire summit.
Okay. Thank you. That was really insightful. That was all the questions we had for you today. Thank you so much for joining us here
Thank
today
you.
and giving your inputs.
Thank you, Rhythm. Thank you.